I've been asked by a friend to kind of discuss or talk about what do we say when we run into Catholics in the harvest. And I have to say this, we run into Catholics every single night in the harvest. And so everything I'm about to say, I want to qualify it with this one statement or illustration. The most difficult people to talk to are people who've been exposed, in my humble uh, estimation, to a weakened form of the gospel, whether that's Mormons, Jehovah's Witnesses, or Catholics. And so let me give you this illustration. And I know this illustration is going to break down on many levels, but I use it to kind of describe about what happens when I run into a Catholic. Illustration is of a flu shot. And my understanding of a flu shot is that when you get the flu shot, you're getting a weakened form of the flu. And it helps build up immunities in your body. So when the real flu comes by, your body's already built up immunities or resistance against it. And that's very similar to what's happened to a Catholic, that they've been exposed to a very weakened form of the gospel, or a very bad form of it, or a weakened form of Jesus. And so when the real gospel comes, they resist it because they think they have it already. So, with that said, it's very difficult to talk to people who've been exposed to Christ on some level, and but have zero obedience. And so, like I said, they've been given a weakened form of the gospel. However, if you are using the three circles, there's a couple places, if I know they're a Catholic, where I drill down on to help kind of differentiate or to go profit on them. So if we have the three circles here, I'll just kind of lay it out real basic. The first place where I dive in, if I know they are a Catholic, or if I have some sense based on something they say, one of the way, we have these squiggly lines, and there's really a million different ways that we're trying to escape this broken world or fix it or get our minds off it. And so there's a million ones. Well, one of the ones I do, if I know they're a Catholic, is I put a line trying to get back to God, and I put good works, being a good person, church, uh, temple, whatever. I put that as one of the wavy lines, is my attempt to get back to God, but it never works, and it just snaps us back. The other place where I drill down a little bit, if I have the three circles diagram, is in the area down here in our response to the gospel. Is we usually use the two words believe and surrender, or follow, or whatever the case may be. I make a very critical distinction between these two, that we surrender out of a sense of gratitude, not out of sense of earning or merit. But if Jesus truly did die on the cross, took my punishment, and God's love all converge at one spot, I surrender out of a sense of gratitude, not out of a sense of earning. The other place, and again, this helps if you have any other tools in your belt, the Roman road, or if you've ever been through this is a great spot. If they, when you ask them where they see themselves, is that they'll typically say they're over here, but they're really trying to get over here, or they're in the middle or something like that. And I ask them why they're in the middle. They'll tell me, man, I'm really trying to be a good person. And then at that point, I quote Ephesians 2, chapter 2, verse 8, which says, "For you are not saved by, for you are saved by grace through faith, and this is not from yourselves; it is of God's gift, not of works, so that no one can boast." And so you can quote Ephesians. There's several places in Romans that you can quote, that we're not saved by surrendering or by works. We're saved because of God, of what God's done for us through Christ. The other place is, once you get through this and you get, where do you see yourself, and you ask the question up here, where are you? And they'll say, I'm working my way back over here. And then I ask them, is there a time where you've believed and surrendered? And they'll say yes, or some weird answer. This is where I almost end with even Christians. I ask them the question, are you in a group where you're learning how to follow Christ? I mean, I say a group, don't say a church, because church has so much baggage. Where someone's praying for you, knows you by name, and where you're studying the Bible and praying with other people in a small group. Do you have anything like that in your life? Most Catholics, if not all Catholics, will not have an answer to that. They will go, "Oh no, I don't." And I'm like, "Well, golly, in First Corinthians chapter 12 tells us that we're a body and that we need each other connected, and you really can't learn to surrender unless you're in some type of group where you're reading the Bible and praying with other people." So I asked them the question at the end, are you in any type of group where you're doing this? And generally, like I said, they'll say they're not. And I'll ask them, would you be interested in being part of a group? We meet just down the street here. We read the Bible once a week. We pray for either. Would that be something that you would be interested in? And so those are just a few things I've done here, the group, Ephesians 2:11. There's several passages in Romans, literally the Romans road. Use a little bit of those verses to point out some of their bad thinking at that point. So those are just a few of the things I do. I don't know if that makes any sense. I hope that helps.